about enjoying the life. Forget about your accomplishments. Forget about your respect and your honor and your wealth, just to survive on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-by-hour basis, on a minute-by-minute basis, on a life-and-death situation. We are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how many a time you've seen that? How many a time you've seen that? Where all you needed was one source of sugar. And because you didn't have that sugar, your body goes into the diabetic coma. Or vice versa, the other way around. How many a time do you see this symbol or this ayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This sign from Allah Azza wa Jal. The basic necessity of survival requires the food. So my dear brothers and sisters, we need to understand that and acknowledge and realize that in and of itself, the food that we eat at the most basic level is something granted to us by Allah Azza wa Jal. It is not by the work of our labor. It is not by our efforts and our money. It is not from our intellect that we attain the food that our body needs. It is 100% by the will and the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to acknowledge and realize that, my dear respected brothers and sisters. And when we do, the question that comes to our mind, the most obvious question that comes to mind, my dear respected brothers and sisters, is how much do we take for granted the food and drink that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us? All that water that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made able for you to drink. All that food that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made able your body to attain its nutrients and its enrichment for your body. How much do we take that for granted? How many of us, as the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een, say Alhamdulillah after each morsel of food that enters their mouth? Thanking Allah Azza wa Jal, acknowledging the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon them. How many of us say Alhamdulillah after every morsel? If we aren't doing that, there is no sin. But it begs to question, how thankful are you really when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that food and that drink that you have the ability to enjoy, whereas others, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow them to drink clean water. Even others, Allah Azza wa Jal did not allow them to even drink any type of water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give others any type of food. And you throw away a little bit of food. How much do you really thank Allah Azza wa Jal? We take our food and drink for granted, my dear brothers and sisters. And to understand that we do take it for granted, we need not look far to understand. We look down the street to our neighbors. We look around the community to our brothers and sisters. We look around the world to our ummah, where some of them eat bread that has a lot of bacteria growing on it. Some of them drink water that runs through the street. Some of them attain provision in food and drink from sources which we would think twice and hesitate to even think about it if we were in our worst condition. If we were in the hospital on the deathbed, We would think, oh, don't give me that water. Go tell the nurse, give me the filtered water. I drink only filtered water. When the hospital food comes to your bed, I don't eat this. Let me call my wife to bring me kabsa or mansaf or biryani. I need something nice to eat. So we let that food sit and get thrown away. Go to waste, my dear brothers and sisters. That is the proof that we are not thankful. We don't understand the value of this statement of Allah Azza wa Jal when He says, every one of you is hungry, is not fed until I feed him. We don't understand what Allah Azza wa Jal is telling mankind here. We don't understand what Allah Azza wa Jal is telling creation here, my dear respected brothers and sisters. We don't understand that all these blessings, these simple blessings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could remove it from you in seconds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could send a disaster your way. He could send an earthquake your way. He could send a tsunami your way. He could send an oppressive army your way. He could do that. And your life will change in seconds. Your life could be washed away in seconds. How many a time have we seen that? How many a time do we see that today? Your home, your food, your water, your family, all could be taken away in a matter of instances, my dear brothers and sisters. So how thankful are you today? How grateful are you today as you sit comfortably in a room that is managed by an air conditioning system, on a carpet that is softer than most people's homes overseas? How thankful are you? My dear brothers and sisters, if Allah Azza wa Jal took away these blessings from us, if Allah Azza wa Jal took away this security, this stability, this comfort in enjoying the food and drink, who knows what would happen? We saw glimpses of it in Hurricane Katrina. You see how quickly civilized people become uncivilized. Matter of minutes, the looting happened, the stealing, the fighting, neighbors fighting each other over drink and food, whereas yesterday they were enjoying so much. They were throwing away drink and food and wasting. Do you see how quickly Allah can change the situation? In the blink of an eye, things can change, my dear respected brothers and sisters. And when Allah Azza wa Jal, if He so decrees that this were to happen, if Allah Azza wa Jal were so to decree that this disaster would come your way, that you would lose your home, that you would lose the food that you eat so comfortably, that you would lose the ability to drink clean and safe water, that you would lose your family, it is then and only then. It is at these times, my dear brothers and sisters, that we realize, we understand, we accept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is entirely free from any need from us, and we, His humble and loyal subjects and slaves, we are entirely and 100% reliant upon Him, dependent upon Him, my dear brothers and sisters. What you thought you could control your entire life, what you thought you could plan and calculate what you thought you could make sure happen and prevent other things from happening, you realize at this moment that even taking all those precautions, even making all those plans, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the only one in charge. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan was the only one that was in motion, my dear respected brothers and sisters. So what does that request of us, my dear brothers and sisters? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the key. He says, ask me for that food. Ask me for that provision. Ask me for that sustenance. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal for that rizq. Just ask Him. Allahumma rizqni. Allahumma rizqna. Say it. Just say, oh Allah, provide for me, acknowledge, realize and accept that it is only Allah who can give you. It is only Allah who can provide for you. It is only Allah who can feed you and grant you the life and the comfort of it. And grant you the goodness of the life of this world and the life of the akhirah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the good of this dunya and the akhirah. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Ask Allah for forgiveness. Inshallah, also if you can move forward, we have some brothers sitting outside. Jazakumullah khair.